Listen, I am mind blown by this breaking news article that The Atlantic just dropped titled Trump, quote, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had. And this article goes into detail about how Donald Trump was often preoccupied with fascists and dictators during his time in the White House while brushing aside our more liberal allies. Now, a close Trump ally gave us multiple new Trump quotes, including this one about Hitler and one where he derided a young Mexican girl who passed away because he promised to pay for the funeral, and the price was apparently too expensive for him to pay. We don't have any time to waste. With 2 weeks to go, make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe, leave some comments to boost this pro-democracy message, and let's jump into this article titled Trump, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had. The Republican nominee's preoccupation with dictators and his disdain for the American military is deepening, and you can put together a pretty damning picture if you just connect Donald Trump's public quotes about people like John McCain, about people in our military, and the way he treats Zelensky and sucks up to Putin with stuff that Donald Trump said in the past. We have a 1990 report. His former wife Ivana Trump told her lawyer Donald Trump kept Hitler speeches beside his bed, and then he later on used Hitler quotes. Donald Trump said he didn't know his immigration rhetoric echoes Hitler. It doesn't just echo Hitler, it quotes Hitler verbatim by saying immigrants are, quote, poisoning the blood of our country. The Trump campaign also, a few months back, posted a campaign video with a headline about a unified Reich. That's right, a unified Reich. And that brings us on to present day. Now, this story is insane. It gets a little bit sad and it's long, so strap in. In April of 2020, Vanessa Guillén, a 20-year-old Army private, was bludgeoned to death by a fellow soldier at Fort Hood in Texas. The killer, aided by his girlfriend, buried Guillén's body. Guillén's remains were discovered 2 months later. Now, the daughter of Mexican immigrants, she grew up in Houston, and her murder sparked outrage across Texas and beyond. Shortly after her remains were found, Donald Trump invited the Guillén family to the White House as he was the president. In the meeting, Trump maintained a dignified posture and expressed sympathy to Guillén's mother. Trump spent 25 minutes with the family as television cameras recorded the scene. Honestly, that in and of itself is kind of a disgusting stunt. We know that Donald Trump did these on-camera stunts repeatedly when he was in the White House. Remember when he pulled Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer into this insane media frenzy about the border bill and shutting down the White House, and Mike Pence was terrified the entire time to even speak? Now, Trump said, I saw what happened to your daughter Vanessa, who is a spectacular person and respected and loved by everybody. If I can help you with the funeral, it'll help. I'll help you with that. I'll help you out. Financially, I'll help you, Donald Trump said. Now, Natalie Quam, the family's attorney, responded, I think the military will be paying, taking care of it. Trump replied, good, they'll do a military. That's good. If you need help, I'll help you out. Later, a reporter covering the meeting asked Trump, have you offered to do that for other families before? Trump responded, I have. Personally. I have to do it personally. I can't do it through government. The reporter then asked, so you've written checks to help for other families before this? Trump turned to the family, still present, and said, I have, because some families need help. Maybe you don't need help from a financial standpoint. I have no idea what. I just think so. He's word salading right here, but this is where it gets wild. A public memorial service was held in Houston 2 weeks after the White House meeting. It was followed by a private funeral and a burial in a local cemetery, attended by, among others, the mayor of Houston and the city's police chief. Highways were shut down and mourners lined the streets. 5 months later, the Secretary of the Army, Ryan McCarthy, announced the results of an investigation. McCarthy cited numerous leadership failures at Fort Hood as which resulted in this death. McCarthy said that the murder shocked our conscience and forced us to take a critical look at our systems, our policies, and ourselves. According to a person close to Trump, he was agitated by McCarthy's comments and raised questions about the severity of the punishments dispensed to senior officers and non-commissioned officers. Now, listen up. In an Oval Office meeting on December 4th of 2020, officials gathered to discuss a separate non-security issue. Towards the end of the discussion, Trump asked for an update on the McCarthy investigation. Christopher Miller, the acting Secretary of Defense, Trump had fired his predecessor, Mark Esper, 3 weeks earlier, writing in a tweet, Mark Esper has been terminated. And Christopher Miller was in attendance, along with Miller's chief of staff, Kash Patel. At a certain point, according to 2 people present at the meeting, Trump asked, did they bill us for the funeral? What did it cost? According to the attendees and to a contemporaneous notes of the meeting taken by a participant, an aide answered, yes, we received a bill. The funeral cost $60,000. $60,000. Let me reread this. According to multiple attendees and to contemporaneous notes of the meeting taken by a participant, the aide answered, yes, we received a bill. The funeral cost $60,000. So this was a meeting that had recorded notes. We have multiple people verifying this. Trump became angry. Quote, it doesn't cost $60,000 to bury a fucking Mexican. He turned to his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and issued an order. Don't pay it. Later that day, he was still agitated. Can you believe it? He said, according to a witness. Fucking people trying to rip me off. And wow, Kawam, the family attorney, told the reporter at The Atlantic she sent the bill to the White House, but no money was ever received by the family from Trump. Some of the costs, Quam said, were covered by the Army, which offered to allow Guillén to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery, and some were covered by donation. Now, the Trump campaign, of course, denied this. They denied it hardcore, but multiple people have confirmed this. And now we're moving on to the Hitler section. But as a little bit of a palate cleanser, can I play you this quick video of Governor Walz absolutely shredding Elon Musk?
Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it. Think about it. Think about that. That guy is literally the richest man in the world, spending millions of dollars to help Donald Trump buy an election. Now look, they're saying the quiet parts out loud now because Donald Trump has already promised that he would put Elon in charge of government regulations that oversee the businesses that Elon runs.
Oh great, we want Elon Musk, the man who can't stop himself from posting conspiracy theories that are also a weirdly race realist, saying that black Americans are inferior to white Americans. Time after time, Elon Musk boosts these insane conspiracy theories about Nancy Pelosi, about racism, and here we go. The personal qualities displayed by Trump in his reactions to the cost of the Guillén funeral: contempt, rage, parsimony, racism, hardly surprised his inner circle. Trump has frequently voiced his disdain for those who serve in the military and for their devotion to duty, honor, and sacrifice. Multiple former generals who have worked for Trump say that the sole military virtue he prizes is obedience, is loyalty, and we know that. He wants to completely restructure the government to allow loyalists in key positions because he regrets having someone like Mike Pence, who he deems weak and spineless, and he says didn't do what needed to be done. So as Donald Trump's presidency drew to a close, and in the years since, he has become more and more interested in the advantages of a dictatorship and the absolute control over the military that he believes it would deliver. Quote, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had, Trump said in a private conversation in the White House, according to two people who heard him say this. A conversation in our White House. Who would have ever guessed a president would say something like this in the modern day, according to two people who heard him say this? That is the important thing right here. Multiple officials heard Donald Trump say this stuff. This is not some whack job. When you're arguing with Trump supporters, say, multiple officials have heard him say this, heard him say that. Quote, people who are totally loyal to him, that follow orders, is what Donald Trump's looking for. Now, Pfeiffer, Donald Trump's spokesperson, said this is absolutely false, but who do we believe? The Trump campaign or multiple people that are surrounding him that have most likely now endorsed VP Harris? A desire to force the U.S. military leaders to be obedient to him and not the Constitution is one of the constant themes of Trump's military-related discourse. Do you guys remember that leaked video of Trump talking about Kim Jong-un? This is Donald Trump caught on a hot mic telling a Fox News host that he kind of likes how Kim Jong-un's loyalists stand up at attention.
Are we close to seeing Mr. Kim here at the White House?
Could happen. I mean,
they talked about that yesterday.
I think it's something that could happen. Yeah. Hey, he's the head of a country, and I mean, he is the strong head. Mm-hmm. Don't let anyone think anything different. Right. He speaks, and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
He literally said, I want my people to do the same. Mr. Kim speaks, and his people sit up at attention. Yeah, because they'll be killed if they don't. A desire to force U.S. military leaders to be obedient to him and not the Constitution, again, is one of the constant themes of Trump's military-related discourse. Former officials have cited recurring themes: his denigration of military service, his ignorance of of the provisions of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, his admiration for brutality and anti-democratic norms of behavior, and his contempt for wounded veterans and for soldiers who fell in battle. Need I even mention the Arlington National Cemetery controversy earlier this year when one of Donald Trump's campaign staffers assaulted an Arlington National Cemetery worker because they were trying to take photos in a prohibited zone. The Trump campaign was told, you can't take photos in this zone. Stop taking photos in this section. And they still tried. And when the Arlington National Cemetery person said stop, they got assaulted by the Trump campaign. And this has been verified by multiple people. Retired General Barry McCaffrey, a decorated Vietnam veteran, told me that Trump does not comprehend such traditional military virtues as honor and self-sacrifice. Quote, the military is a foreign country to him. He doesn't understand the customs or the codes. I really quickly want to jump over to this article really quickly. It says, Trump has made more than 100 threats to prosecute or punish perceived enemies, and this article lines them up all perfectly. He calls us the enemies from within. In one recent interview, Trump said that if radical left lunatics disrupt the election, it should very easily be handled by, if necessary, the National Guard, or if really necessary, the military. That statement on Fox News was not the first time Trump has expressed support for using the government force against domestic political rivals. Trump has said that he wants retribution. Vice President Kamala Harris, quote, should be impeached and prosecuted. He has said Liz Cheney should go to jail along with the rest of the unselect committee. I'm buddies with Adam Kinzinger. I don't want to see Adam Kinzinger go to jail. Journalists who decline to identify the source of leaked information would also face imprisonment, Trump said, referring to the Democrats' January 6th committee. All of this stuff is absolutely, patently insane, and I can't believe he gets away with it. Watch this veteran asked if he would support Trump.
Are you a veteran?
I am.
May I ask, are you supporting Donald Trump for president?
Not a chance, man.
Really?
No.
Tell me why not.
Honestly, well, from the perspective of veterans, he hates us. Okay, I stand by the fact Donald Trump hates veterans. You look at how he disrespected Arlington National Cemetery. That's our most hallowed ground. If you can't respect Arlington National Cemetery, you don't respect us. But well before that, I knew that Donald Trump hated veterans. Every action he's taken has proven that. And also, I took an oath to defend our country from enemies, foreign and domestic. And you look at January 6th, he literally tried to overthrow this government. In my opinion, Donald Trump's the #1 threat to this country's democracy. It's probably a little bit more detailed than what you're asking, but...
No, I really appreciate it. It means a lot coming from someone who has served. So thank you, sir, for your service. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Is this going on like social media or something?
It may be around the internet at some point, and the world needs your voice, so thank you.
I'm also on social media, man. Tag me.
Hey, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Amazing, amazing stuff. And here's Donald Trump saying that Vladimir Putin is our so-called enemy after he said that Democrats are the enemy from within.
The outside people, the so-called enemies, if they're enemies, and they might not be enemies, if you have a smart president, they can be handled. But when you have people investigating my campaign, when you have people, you know, they spied on my campaign now, you understand that, that's been proven. But they spy on your campaign. The Russia hoax was all made up.
It is insane to me that Donald Trump can say in one breath the Democrats are the enemy from within, that the National Guard may need to be mobilized, but then the next breath say that Vladimir Putin is our so-called enemy. Put the pieces together, Trump supporters. It's insane. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. We're almost at 500 memberships. You can find them below where you'd usually subscribe. Have a great rest of your day and peace out.